have a feeling Tyrone's gonna essentially be the number one rooster in charge. Welcome to Evie's Acres. I'm Evie, and in today's video, I'll share with you some details about our chickens on the homestead. Say hi, Ty. It's Tyrone. This rooster, a really beautiful rooster, is not named. Does not have a name. He's one of the ones that will be selling, hopefully. Here's another rooster. This is similar to Freddie. It's a blue-laced Wyandotte. And we have two more roosters here. This brown one, I believe, is also a blue-laced Wyandotte, actually. It's not fully feathered out yet as far as coloring, but I'm pretty sure that's what he is. And then this other one here with the large comb, this is Cy. Cy is very skittish. And anytime you hear a chicken shriek on the back of a video, 9 times out of 10, it's Cy. He's a rooster, but he's very high-strung and just strange in some ways. So, there he is. Cy's also the one, I think in an earlier video I may have highlighted him. He wasn't called Cy at the time, but he just kept getting kind of kicked out by everybody. He was definitely not the alpha chicken. And here's good old Tyrone, here to protect. He's such a good protector. You're awesome. And very handsome. Yes, you're very handsome. Yep. There's good old Freddie. Freddie and all his featheriness. He's a big bird. Not all birds grow to be the same size, even if they're of the same breed. All of these birds have reached maturity age-wise. They're not necessarily their full-grown size yet. They're close, but not quite. This guy, he's a big guy, right? That's why you're the number one rooster in charge. Mainly because you're the first one, or the only one of that first group of chickens that has lasted this long. And for anyone who is wondering why among these chickens you no longer see any of our American breasts, it's because we, as I've mentioned in prior videos, I acquired those chicks specifically to grow out for their meat. And so we processed them a couple of weeks ago. And I think in another video I'll give you my personal review and lessons learned as far as raising that particular breed and how things turned out with the processing. But for now, just understand that's where they are. Something else I want to quickly address here is that we started off with 25 chickens in this flock. And that number has dwindled, not only due to the processing of those 5 American breasts, but also because we have had a few deaths that occurred. A couple of them, actually no, all of them were pretty much unexpected. We lost one of our black copper Moran hens. Still not sure what happened to her. She was walking a little funny at one point, and I kept an eye on her, made sure she was getting food and water. She seemed to be doing great. And then one day I came out and she was not alive any longer. We also had, when they were still chicks, we had a blue-laced Wyandotte chick, which I believe was a hen as well. And for whatever reason, her growth rate was a lot slower than the others. She didn't develop feathers the same time everyone else did. Her growth was just stunted, even though she had equal access to food and water. I ended up isolating her at one point, I think around week 4, because of the fact that she was so small and it seemed that all the other chickens were picking on her. And I brought over the smallest chick available at that time. The smallest chick we had at that time after her was there as her companion, but even then she just did not have the will to live. So she also passed on. And then we had one more Blue Lace Wyandotte who one day, I came out and opened up the tractor, let everyone out to eat, and she just didn't come out of the tractor. She was just sitting there. And at first I thought, well, maybe she's thinking about laying an egg early? I don't know. Like, I just couldn't figure it out. But I picked her up, which to me was a big sign. Like, normally if I reach for a chicken, they kind of go into a little bit of a panic mode because they don't see me as, you know, a mother hen per se. They know I bring their food and water, but they don't want me to pick them up. But she let me pick her up, and I brought her over to where their food and water were located, and I just set her down near it, not right on top of it, because I wanted her to make some effort to get to her food and water. But she didn't. She didn't even try to peck at the food. She looked really sleepy, like she was exhausted, and I just couldn't figure it out. I could not figure out what was going on. So I basically just kept checking on her about once an hour to see what was going on, what was she doing. And by noon that day, she just laid down and fell asleep. Never figured out what was wrong with her. None of these chickens that I just described had bumblefoot or any other, I guess, easily recognizable illness to my knowledge. But again, this is something that will just happen sometimes. There will be loss, and it's something you have to be prepared for. You can never really fully prepare for it, I guess, but just, I guess, be aware that it's something that anyone who's ever raised animals or even have pets, you have to go through that process. It will happen. So just wanted to share that. But yeah, as you can see, these guys are just hanging out. We're still using the bucket method at the moment for the hens to lay eggs, but that will change as a couple more changes come into place. With building their next habitat. So, let's see, this one here. For those who are wondering why this one doesn't have that sort of rubber handle on the rope, it's because I didn't have any at the time when I put this particular tractor together. I literally threw this together within a couple of hours one day, when at that time I realized that the meat birds we had fully outgrown that other tractor, and I really needed a place that could accommodate all of them at that time. Some of you may recall in earlier videos, these layer hens and Freddie, they were, well, I guess Freddie may not have been much smaller, but he seemed a bit smaller than those meat birds. They grew just exponentially fast, which is normal for meat birds to do that. That's why they're bred for that purpose, to grow quickly, to have a lot of muscle quickly. So Autumn over there, she's another loner, if you will. She was among the original meat birds, and she had some foot and leg issues early on, And after she started to show signs of healing, we placed her, yes, we hear you. We placed her with the mate birds, but they were picking on her, and so we relocated her to be with our hens. And she's been a laying hen ever since. Hi. Oh, that's interesting. So this rooster's doing the one-legged stand. Are your feet cold? I'm sure they are. Are you the one on duty right now? Is that what you're doing? Are you on duty? Yeah. This crow is not as strong or, in my opinion, pleasant as Tyrone's. Yeah, see, that's more of a traditional crow. I like that. All right, it's time to get the day. Well, I mean, my day started a couple hours ago, but just keep it going. Hi, Freddie. So, I'll back up and just say one more thing about Freddie. Although Freddie was the original rooster in charge, I have a feeling that once we merge the two groups and we have Tyrone in here along with the other Black Copper Morans, the hens, I have a feeling Tyrone's gonna essentially be the number one rooster in charge. So, if you're new to raising chickens or an aspiring chicken keeper, check out some of the resources we have in the description box. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time.